Hey, JHancho here with the response to SimpleSemi. Here is that Phoenix game I did promise you. For some reason, I messed up my hotkeys. And I was trying to build a probe, but I was playing Terran the previous game. And this is going to be a 2v2 with myself spawning in the bottom of Decena as the purple toss. My ally Fjord. Or Fjord, if anyone knows how to pronounce that correctly, please do tell. He'll be spawning as the teal toss across from me, or up above me, and then Edmar in the red Zerg. He's getting a 7 pull, wonderful, and Meenagh, whatever. So I'm talking to my ally, and I'm building my first pylon at 10. Or, yeah, 10 because I was just talking. Telling him not to rush or do anything. He does waste a chrono boost, or at least the first few seconds of one. So it'll... about half of one, actually. So we're just going to let this... speed up to let this 7 pull finish, because I'm not exactly sure how fast it is going to go. He does get his overlord out, and boom, boom, boom. So there's 3 Zerglings on the way. Meanwhile, his ally... is getting his first warp gate pretty sensibly. You know, he's playing quite standard, getting a second pylon. Probably going to be putting down either another gate or something else. Oh, time to slow it down and get to the action over here. Looks like my ally is going to get rushed by these 6 Zerglings with 2 more and 2 more on the way, so a total of 10. Probe goes down. He says, "Crap!" But he does bring his probes out to defend, which is very, very smart of him. Probes do kind of well against Zerglings, especially if they're not willing to fight. He does make the mistake of trying to run around, so Fjord does get out a Zealot while these 4 are just sitting in the middle doing nothing. I do have a Zealot out as soon as I get unsupply blocked, and then I make the mistake of walling off. So I am actually not going to be able to help my opponent, but he does admirably well against the 7 pull, and as you see by the unit counting station, we have 7 drones over here for Edmar, and I think he is continuing to produce these Zerglings. I used the wrong yor. Put more Z's, which he is doing right now, and get a Stalker. So he already has 2 gas, mining 3 out of 1, and he is pumping probes like nobody's business. He should be pumping Z's. Now I do have one out, and he is set to go straight to that guy's base, Fjord's base, and he'll get there just in time to see another bunch come out here. So Fjord is in a little bit of a trouble here. He's basically sacrificing this probe to get a better surround on these people. Meanwhile, mine and Edmar's Zealots get in and do some damage. Meanwhile, the Zerglings are not willing to engage until he can get some good probe kills. You see here he doesn't surround this probe, which is a mistake. We're able to kill off a bunch of them from behind, and we don't even lose a Zealot. So a couple probes going down from Fjord, but not that big of a deal. Now here, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't play Toss all that much, but when I do, I usually get Blink Stalkers. This time was different. I decide to throw down a Stargate, throw down another Stargate, and I'm going to be producing some Phoenixes. Because I knew this Zerg was weak, and he probably didn't have any gas since he did go 7 pull. He's getting his first gas now. Meanwhile, this Toss is just straight teching, getting warp gates. He's got 3 gateways, 2 Stalkers out, and he should be getting something from the Twilight Council. But he is probably the best off in terms of not being molested, whereas I have the most probes. And Red kind of screwed himself by continuing to just continue to pump Zerglings. I'm not sure exactly what his deal is here. So he has 1 gas, but he doesn't have enough drones to support it. He's finally pumping some more. After killing those, I decided to pull back because I feared that his opponent would have something, so I wanted to protect my ally here. Finally, these Stargates get up, and I am able to start thinking about Phoenix, which they only cost 150, 150? 100. Okay. So 150, 100, and they are an air-to-air only unit, but they do have great mobility, and they have a special ability called Graviton Beam, which you will see in a second. I asked him, how hard do you think you can hit the Zerg? Because he is weak as all get out. He's pumping drones, and overlords. He's got to get back into this game. He's finally getting some gas, and if you look at his vest speed, he only has 60. Not enough for You know, a full round of roaches, not enough for much. He's not even injecting with his queen. His queen's got 90-some energy. I should mention that this was placement matches in patch 14 for Fjord and I was very close to getting my Beta Crusher achievement. I just, I missed it by 4 games playing as Terran. Or no, 1 game as Toss, and then the solo by 4 games as Terran. So I have a small force of a Stalker and 4 Zealots Orso. This guy's trapped. Meanwhile, I didn't notice, but apparently there were a couple of Zerglings just sitting in the bottom here, so those Zerglings do very well against Stalkers. 2 is not enough to take it down. So he pulls back his Zerglings to his main, and that's pretty much all the force Red has. Meanwhile, Blue is building up a fairly sizable force of 3 Stalkers, 4 Zealots, and he's getting a Dark Shrine. Throwing down a Robo Facility and a bunch more Gateways, Pylons. In fact, there's a lot of Gateways there. He does not have the economy to produce from that unless he saves up a lot. So, right now I have 4 Phoenixes, and I'm about ready to move out after maybe this one and this one finish. That's why I chrono boosted it, so I had to have 6 Phoenixes to go out. Phoenix, as you can see, they do have energy, so they can be feedback by High Templars. And I do forget this one for a second, but we group up and we start moving out. I go to Blue's base first because I noticed that he was not harassed at all, so I realized that there's a lot that we can do here. But I kind of rally him to the bottom. And you see these DTs coming in. He had the time to tech up to them. And he actually, what's really cool is they have 2 different, or 3 different models, I'm sorry. But because of my ally having photon cannons smartly in his base, he's able to repel that. So they go towards mine, which I say, ZT? No, it's a DT. I say, ah, crap, get an observer. He's just, you know, destroying my Zealots. Meanwhile, these guys are like, wait a second, let's go back. After killing a few, I'm sorry I missed that, but these DTs were kind of important. They try to get in my base, they fail. I don't know what they're doing. They're moving, they're killing, they're moving, they're killing. He still doesn't have a Zealot kill. I think he's going to get one now. I do have a Robobay on the way. It's going to be a little bit tardy, I'd say. So I start to move out, realizing that there's not much I can do against this until there's an observer out and on the way. My partner here is getting Void Rays, whereas the Zerg is not getting much of anything. He's got some Roaches on the way, but they're not too particularly effective against Void Rays, as you can probably imagine. So I come back to my base, and I go, you know, try and chase this DT. So I'm moving out. I miss this big force in the middle, which does sandwich my force eventually. And not that it mattered all that much. I was just trying to push out with what I had, see if it was anything worthwhile. At this point, I should have... I forgot that one again. But if we turn on the energy bar, which I'm hitting the Windows key instead of... Oh, there we go. I have a ton of energy saved up. He does repel that attack quite handily, because Roaches do kill Zealots very, very, very fast. But here's the harass that you might want to see. So I'm just out of range of his queen, and I am waiting for some reason, because I have this one here and this one here.